Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be an updated makeup inventory. I last did this in August. I will link that if you do want to see those numbers. This time I will be comparing my numbers to 1 year ago. So the inventory numbers from January of last year. I have a whole makeup inventory playlist. I will link that if you do want to see that. This is something I've been keeping track of on my channel for the last 3 years. If you want to see more details on the products, I would recommend my ranking makeup playlist where I've ranked eyeshadow palettes, bronzers, and things like that. And as far as the eyeshadow palettes, I have done a recent eyeshadow palette collection video. So you can check that out if you do want to see all of the palettes. Also, I'll be mentioning my low buy as well, which I did recently introduce in the last couple of weeks because some of my low buy parameters are based on how much I own in that category, only for complexion products. Check that video for the details, but I'll just be mentioning those in relation to that as well. Full disclosure, my numbers have gone up a lot in the last year because 2020 I was not on a low buy, and also I did get some PR. The first makeup PR I got was in January of 2020. So that is a small percentage of it, but yeah, mostly it is that I have bought more makeup in the last year. Again, that is why I am on a low buy now. I'm very, very excited for that, and let's get into this. All right, the first category is foundations. I currently own 5 foundations, and 1 year ago, I also had 5 foundations. I'm okay with that number. I really like the ones that I have. Within the means of my low buy, I am allowed to own up to 8. I really can't think of 3 foundations that I would want to buy though. The only ones that I'm interested in purchasing are actually repurchases of the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Finish and the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage, because those and the Estee Lauder are my top 3 foundations ever. So I would love to have all 3 of those again, but I have plenty right now, and I really do like the other ones that I have as well. So probably won't be buying any right now, but those are the only 2 I'd even be interested in. Next up is face primer. I currently have 5, and 1 year ago I had 2. Within my low buy, I could own up to 8. I don't really think I need that many, and I really do like the ones that I have right now. The only primer that I even really want to repurchase is the original Smashbox one. I would probably say that is my #1 favorite primer that I've ever used. So I may purchase that at some point, but I have the Becca one I really like. I have the NYX one that I really like. So again, I really don't need any primers, but we'll see. Next up, we have face powder. This has gone up in the last year as well. I currently have 10, and I previously had 6. One of these is an under eye powder, and 10 is the max that I'm allowed within my low buy, so I can't purchase any powder anyway, but honestly, I don't need any powder. I really like the ones that I have, and obviously I have a lot of options. I've got loose powder and compressed powder. I don't know. I don't really have any interest in purchasing anything new. My favorites that I have are probably the Hourglass one and the AOA Studio. Those were in my yearly favorites video. I really do enjoy those. Also, currently I'm using the one from Pure Cosmetics, and yeah, I feel really satisfied with the selection, and I think 10 is a reasonable max there for me. Then we have setting sprays. I currently own 2, and 1 year ago I also had 2. I forgot to mention in my low buy that the max I'm allowed to have of face setting sprays would be 4. But the only one that I do want to purchase again at some point is the e.l.f. That is my holy grail, but I currently have this one from Mario Badescu and the Pixie, and I like those too. I don't like them quite as much as the e.l.f., but I don't know. I'm fine with the ones that I have, so maybe the e.l.f. one I'll repurchase at some point. All right, on to concealer. I currently own 11, and this has gone up a lot. 1 year ago, I only had 3 concealers. A few of the concealers I have, I did get them in PR, and obviously the rest I bought myself. The max I can have in my low buy is 8. I'm going to need to use some up before I could purchase any, but honestly, I'm really happy with the ones that I have. I already have the favorites. I've got the CoverGirl, the Tarte, the Makeup Revolution. Those are my favorite concealers, so I really don't feel the urge to try anything new. The only concealer I've even potentially been tempted to purchase is the one from Pat McGrath, but I don't know that I really need to. So I'm perfectly satisfied with my concealer collection, and honestly, I want to use some of these up. I did put some in a project pan recently, and I'm getting close to finishing them, so yeah. I just want to have my current favorites, you know, like I said, the Tarte, the CoverGirl, those are my top 2. So if I have those, I'm perfectly satisfied. On to lip products. For lip gloss, I have 27, and 1 year ago I had 19. So again, this did go up. A couple of them I got in PR, but yeah, most of them I bought them. I kind of went lip gloss crazy the first half of 2020. I bought so many. I was just having a lip gloss craze. Second half of the year, I realized I'm not using lip products as much, so I went on a pretty strict low buy. I have a max set of lip products I could even buy for this year, and honestly, I have zero interest in buying any right now anyway, because I have a copious amount. I don't need more. I do love lip gloss, and I finished quite a few in 2020. If you saw my 2020 makeup empties video, I'll link that as well. But yeah, I have my favorites. I don't need any more. Then we have lipstick. I currently own 34 lipsticks, and 1 year ago I had 33 lipsticks. I actually did really well. Hardly buying any lipstick last year. I think I bought maybe 3 or 4. I used up 3. And yeah, I got a couple in PR as well. And the second half of the year, I did really, really well. These numbers would have been even lower because I did declutter a few lipsticks last year also, but I did get a few in PR. I don't know. There's no lipstick that I can even think of that I'd be curious on trying, except for the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. I'm interested in getting that one at some point, but other than that, I really can't even think of anything that I'd want to buy. I don't even use the 34 that I have, and ideally my lipsticks would be somewhere more around like 25. I think for me that would be more reasonable. So yeah. The next category is lip liner. I currently own 13 lip liners. 1 year ago, I had 8 lip liners. And part of the reason this went up so much, I did buy a couple, and then I did declutter a couple months ago. But I got, I think, 4 or 5 lip liners when I had BoxyCharm. I did have BoxyCharm the first half of 2020, and that is also part of the reason my numbers went up significantly. I forgot to mention that. It was kind of a combination of BoxyCharm, me buying makeup, and some PR. But yeah, I really do like the selection I have of lip liners though right now. I've got like a red, I've got some pinks, I've got some browns. I think I have a good variety. I have no urge to buy any lip liners at all. So yeah, I'm really satisfied with this category actually. Then we have highlighters. I have 34 highlighters, and 1 year ago I had 25. Again, this did go up, and for me, this even includes highlighter palettes. I don't count the individual pans. I count a palette as one item because if I were to finish a pan, I would not get rid of that. It would still be a product in my collection, so I count face palettes as one. So I've got a lot of highlighter, but I gotta say it is one of my favorite categories of makeup. Again, I'm on a low buy, so I won't be able to buy that many this year. I'm satisfied with the ones that I have. Obviously, I don't need any more, but yeah, I really don't want this to go up too much more because it did go up significantly in the last year. The next category is bronzer / contour, and these are powder only, by the way. I have a separate category for cream and liquid products. I currently have 12, and that does include 2 palettes, and 1 year ago I had 10. Yeah, I definitely don't need more bronzers or contour products. 2 contour palettes is really more than enough. Honestly, the Anastasia one is not even my favorite anymore. The other one that I have from Shany Cosmetics, I actually think is better than the Anastasia one. But yeah, definitely don't need more, especially I don't need any contour shades. I am curious about trying 1 or 2 bronzers here and there. We'll see, but yeah. 12 is a decent amount already. The next category is blush, and I have 28. 1 year ago I had 19, and this does include blush palettes as well. Yes, I did get a few blushes in PR, and I think I did get a couple in BoxyCharm as well, and then I bought 2 or 3 myself. Definitely have a lot of blush, and if you saw my 2020 makeup empties, I finished 1 full-size blush, which is very, very exciting, but there's no way that I could finish more than 1 blush per year, and honestly, blush kind of starts to look the same after a while. I don't know, I really feel like I could have a pink, a mauve, a more neutral shade, and maybe like 2 other colors, and I would be set on blush because yeah, they definitely tend to look the same after a while. So yeah, don't need any more blush. Let's get into some smaller numbers here. Brow products, I have 5, and 1 year ago I had 5. I'm perfectly fine with this. Honestly, a lot of days I use just my tinted brow gel, and then other days I use either my brow powder or my pomade. Today I'm wearing the brow pomade with the gel on top. I have 2 brow pencils, and I don't use brow pencils very often. However, the reason I have not decluttered them is I tend to keep them around for travel, which I have not done that obviously, but at some point I do hope to travel again, and I don't want to declutter the brow pencils, which are perfectly fine, and then have to buy some later on. I don't know, kind of silly, but yeah, I really don't use the two brow pencils I have very often. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe I'll get rid of one of these, but yeah, I am a pomade or brow powder person, and then set that with a tinted brow gel. Then we have a category I call face sticks. I have 4, and I previously had 4. So this is like a blush stick, a contour stick, a highlighter stick. I know it's kind of silly, but I really didn't know how else to categorize these. I don't use cream products very often, so I do not want this number to go up at all. The ones that I have, I don't use all that often. The cream contour stick, I probably use the most out of all of them, but yeah, cream products I don't use a lot, so I'm fine with the ones that I have, but I don't plan on purchasing any anytime soon. Then we have eye primer. I have 2, and 1 year ago I had 1. The reason that this went up is that I did get that one from Pretty Vulgar in BoxyCharm earlier this year. So I've got that one and the Milani. I like them both, so I just use them both interchangeably, but I really don't need more than 1. And if I hadn't gotten that in BoxyCharm, I would only have 1. The next category is single eyeshadows in a pot. And I currently have 3 of these. 1 year ago, I had 5. One of them was a MAC one that I actually depotted and put in a Z palette. And then the other one was a Colourpop Super Shock Shadow, which I decluttered because I just never use those. So the ones that I have right now, I have this loose one from Ofra that I actually really like. And then I have 2 from Bobbi Brown. I like these. I don't use them all that often, but I do enjoy the quality on the 3 that I have, but again, this is not something I buy a lot because I mostly use my eyeshadow palettes, and you'll hear how many eyeshadow palettes I have in a little bit. It's quite a few, so I definitely don't need more eyeshadows in a compact. The next category is eyeliner. I have 2 eyeliners. 1 year ago, I had 3 eyeliners. Honestly, what I have right now is all that I need. I have a black pencil one for the waterline and a black liquid liner. That's all that I use. I really don't need anything else. I mentioned in my low buy video that I'm considering purchasing a brown pencil liner just to switch it up to use that in the waterline. But then part of me is like, I don't know, is it gonna look that different than black will? Probably not. So I don't know, that's just something I've debated, but honestly, for me, eyeliner is a very functional thing. I like it to make my eyes look bigger and, you know, enhance my lashes, but I don't play around with it other than that. So for me, this is a very functional category. Mascara, I've got 1. 1 year ago, I had 2. I mean, I'm fine with having anywhere from 2 to 3 mascaras, but honestly, I don't need more than 1 at a time, and I don't have a back stock or anything like that. What I have right now is from L'Oreal. It's like the Million Lashes or something. It's really good. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, I tend to just buy drugstore mascara unless I'm really feeling fancy, but yeah, I don't need more than 1 or 2. 2 categories left. The next one is liquid highlighter, and I have 3 liquid highlighters. 1 year ago, I only had 1. So out of the ones that I have, I've got the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I consider that a liquid highlighter because that's mostly how I use it. The one I have from Becca, I did get in PR, and then the other one from Charlotte Tilbury is the Spotlight one, and that was a Christmas gift, and it is amazing and beautiful. I really, really love it. So I'm trying to use the Becca one up in a project pan and just having the 2 Charlotte Tilbury because they are a little bit different. The one that's Spotlight is a bit more of an intense highlighter where the Flawless Filter is more subtle, and that one I often mix in with my foundation. So today I'm actually wearing the Becca one underneath my foundation here. So I like all 3 that I have, but yeah, I'm working on finishing 1, and I really probably don't need more than 1 or 2 in this category. And last up is eyeshadow palettes. This is why I'm on a low buy, okay? This is the reason. I currently own 101 eyeshadow palettes. I posted that palette collection video recently. If you saw that, in that video, I had 103. I decluttered a couple after posting that video because I realized I just was not using them. 1 year ago, I had 50 eyeshadow palettes. So that means that I amassed over 50 palettes in 1 year. I know that is so much. A few I got in PR, but mostly I bought them myself. I mean, I used Ulta points for some, and most of them I did get on sale, but still over 50 palettes in 1 year. And there were even a couple more palettes that I decluttered earlier this year. I still do plan on doing a video ranking all of the palettes that I tried in 2020, but obviously it's a lot, so it's going to take me a little bit to film that video. Hopefully I'll be able to do that one soon. But yes, this is why I'm on a low buy. I got so many palettes last year. I mean, way more than any other category. It more than doubled. Oh my gosh, I know it is crazy, but I gotta say, I'm happy with my collection right now. But again, this is why I'm on a low buy. I do not need more palettes. I do not need more eyeshadow. I have all the variety of brand, formula, color that I could ever want. So yeah, I mean, even on my low buy, I am allowed to buy a certain number of palettes if you saw that video, but I honestly can't even think of a palette right now that I'd even be interested in purchasing because obviously I have a ton. So a big goal for this year is just to really enjoy the palettes I have, rotate through them. I'm doing a different style of Shop My Stash this year. I just want to enjoy my collection, and honestly, I probably don't need to be buying any palettes, obviously. You know, obviously we'll see how that goes with the low buy. But yeah, right now I am very, very happy with my collection and I don't need any more. Alrighty, that is it for my inventory. Yeah, I gotta say the eyeshadow palettes, I'm a little embarrassed by how that doubled in 1 year, but again, that's why I'm on the low buy. So big focus for me this year is just to enjoy my collection. And I do want to use some stuff up, of course. I mean, that is always a goal for me because I've been project panning for a while. So check some of those videos out. I'll link them in the description box. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.